Today's story feels like something out of science fiction, freezing time, defying biology, and reminding us just how miraculous the human body can be. In 1994, back when the internet was barely a thing and Google didn't even exist yet, an embryo was frozen in a lab. Fast forward 31 years. That very same embryo became a baby in 2025. Yes! An embryo that biologically existed in 1994 was born in 2025. When the baby was born, he was just hours old, but technically he was already 31. His name? Thaddeus Daniel Pierce, born in Ohio, USA to Lindsay and Tim Pierce. But the embryo that became Thaddeus wasn't originally theirs. It was created back in 1994 by a woman named Linda Archard during her IVF treatment. Several embryos were created, but not all were used. One of them was frozen and stored, waiting. Decades passed, and that embryo remained preserved in a cryogenic bank. In 2024, Lindsay and Tim joined an embryo adoption program. Through an organization called Snowflakes, they were presented with several embryos to choose from. Among them was this one, from 1994. They chose it. The embryo was thawed and transferred into Lindsay's uterus. In July 2025, baby Thaddeus was born after being frozen for 11,148 days. That's the longest any embryo has ever been frozen before resulting in a live birth. So how is it even possible for an embryo to survive 3 decades on ice? The answer lies in modern reproductive science. Through IVF and cryopreservation, embryos are frozen in liquid nitrogen at negative 196 degrees Celsius. In that state, they can remain biologically stable for decades, potentially forever. With proper thawing and implantation, they can lead to healthy, full-term pregnancies. But this story is more than just science. It raises powerful ethical and emotional questions. Who owns a frozen embryo? If a child is born from a donated embryo, how do we define family, genetics, and parenthood? In 2024, a legal ruling in Alabama declared that frozen embryos could be considered children under the law. Sparking national debate in the US worldwide, there are millions of embryos frozen in labs. Some are waiting to be used, others have been forgotten, but all of them carry potential. Thaddeus' story isn't just about a baby, it's about a possibility. Frozen in time, preserved in hope, and brought back to life by science. It shows us that with technology, we're no longer bound by the timelines of biology. What if your future child doesn't have to be born today, but 30 years from now? Thanks for watching. For more science, pregnancy stories, and unbelievable facts, stay with Glow Mama.